2 days ago, we got new art for Hoyo Fair, and as simple as it is, it leaks a whole lot of stuff and secrets. Honestly, the cat's out of the freaking bag. Ahem. So, yes, the thumbnail isn't clickbait. Not like I'll ever clickbait you guys. Because literally just yesterday, we also got the full leaks for the 6.2 banners, including the most detailed Durin leak so far. I mean, it's honestly a stressful situation to even save anymore, as these banners are crazy stacked. We've got buffers, we've got DPS, and we've got info about characters who perform both actions. So today we're going full throttle, breaking down everything about the 6.1 and 6.2 banners. We'll map out the expected phases, the big names, and yes, since I know a few of you can't stop daydreaming about Jehoda and those legendary thunder thighs, we'll be talking about when she's expected to arrive. So yeah, if you're trying to save your primos, figure out who's coming, or just want to know how cooked you are before you pull, this video is for you. But you know what else is for you? This savings at LDshop. With Lauma, Flynn's, and basically the whole squad now available, topping up can get insanely expensive. And that's exactly why LDshop is stepping in with a massive 35% discount on all your top-ups. Want a Welkin Moon? Done. Need that $100 crystal pack? They've got it for as low as $68. And the best part? There's no weird icky moments. Nope. All you need is your UID and server, no password nonsense. They respect your privacy, period. So click my link below, snag the Lauma coupon, and watch your total drop to the prices you're seeing on screen right now. Now with that covered, let's start by breaking down the juicy segment of this video. Because you know, my definition of juicy might not be your definition of juicy. This video will be split into 4 sections. The first section will cover the confirmed 6.1 banners, everything related to the banner and also the confirmed 4 stars for that patch. For the second section, we'll talk about 6.2 banners, the 4 stars, and lots more. I shouldn't spoil the secret of the video too much, because that's for you to discover. Thirdly, we have Durin leaks, the latest and most accurate information we have about him. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. And lastly, we have Columbina leaks, a few changes, and a new understanding about her, like her weapon and the likes. So, yeah, starting with 6.1, we'll speed run it a little since I already made a video breaking down the confirmed characters. But don't worry, I'll keep it long enough for the new viewers here, but short enough for those who have seen the video and just want a refresh on the banners. In 6.1, we're expecting Nefer, Arlecchino, Fiorina, and Zhongli. Yes, 2 Archons in a phase. The reasoning behind this is simple. It's just about time. Now let me explain something real quick. You see, after the usual Archon rerun, they'll rerun the Archon of that patch, obviously, but then they also rerun the most popular Archon. I noticed that there is usually a 1-patch gap here since it isn't the typical Archon rerun cycle. So applying that here, we know Columbina is releasing in 6.3, and then Mavuika rerunning in 6.4. They'd have to run Raiden in 6.5, and then we have just 4 patches to rerun the popular Archons like Mavuika. But you see, that's exactly what happens when they double stack Archons. Now imagine if they didn't. Exactly. We'd be left with barely 3 thin patches to squeeze in reruns for 2 Archons. And honestly, that's just not realistic because the X.8 patch is for the introduction of the next region character. Also keep in mind that the X.9 is usually skipped. So, to cut a long story short, time pressure is the real reason behind this drastic move from Hoyoverse, and it's honestly just a wise move. Now, after a bit of reasoning, it shows that Nefer and Fiorina will be in the first phase, while Arlecchino and Zhongli will most likely be in the second. To those of you wondering whether or not you should get Nefer, it really depends on your current team setup. If you have Lauma, then you will never regret pulling for Nefer. But if you pulled for Nilou and expected to use her to bloom, then nah, you better get a broom and sweep those thoughts away. Anyways, for the 4 stars of 6.1, we have 3 of them already revealed, and those are Lanyan, Rosaria, and this lady. To be honest, I forgot her name. Now, getting the other 3 4 stars are quite difficult, and I've only been 75% accurate in the past. So, yeah, I ain't so confident about predicting it without ample leaks to work with. But if I had to take a quick guess from previous patterns, I'd say we can expect Xiangling due to her usual appearance with Arlecchino. Also, we can expect Fischl due to her appearance with Zhongli. And lastly, we can expect Charlotte due to her usual appearance with Fiorina. Fingers crossed if I'm right on that one. Now, switching things up, we have the more interesting part of the video, and that is the 6.2 details. Let's start by analyzing the leaks to see what percentage of them seem to be true. First of all, the leaker claims that the first character to show up is Durin, and yes, it does make sense. He also specified that Durin will show up in the first half of the patch, which honestly tallies with my usual pattern, where we say that the new character always shows up in the first phase, if they're the only new character, of course. Now, before going into the other characters, he further spoke about Durin, stuff like what we can expect from him, who he's expected to outclass, and basically a way for us to picture him in action. His words are, and I quote, Durin isn't just stronger than Xiangling at applying Pyro. Nope, the gap is huge. He also added that during shreds, Hydro, Pyro, and a Nemo resistance, making him better than some 4-star elemental support. Now let's quickly break down what the frick we just heard. So basically, Durin is a sub-DPS buffer, in the sense that he probably has off-field Pyro application and also provides resistance shred while causing greater and more constant sub-DPS damage than Xiangling. Where we were wrong earlier is our expectations of his buffing. That's because he doesn't boost the damage of the characters. Rather, he reduces the enemy's resistance to the damage. Exactly what Silonen does, and as we've seen, this resistance shred is in percentages, meaning the more resistance the enemy has, the more the resistance will be shredded. Now, we don't know this percentage yet, but it's simply bound to be good, and yeah, once again, Neuvillette got a new buffer for him, which I've honestly seen coming from a mile away. Anyways, onto the next character, we have Escoffi, which honestly might be true. Let's take a look at the probability. Escoffi's first banner was in 5.6, and in 6.2 it had been 5 patches since her first banner, which honestly still matches the 4 to 6 patches pattern. Escoffi will be a perfect character to pair with Columbina in 6.3, thus following the support before the DPS rule, and yeah, she is an overall important character for upcoming DPS in Nodcry. Genshin knows this, and they truly will capitalize on it. That means, so far, the leaked banner is correct. The next character he leaked to appear in 6.2 is Venti. Let's be honest, I need not say much, because with Zhongli and Furina already appearing in 6.1, it's really just common sense to know that Venti is the longest Archon sitting on the bench. As such, he is bound to be given a rerun here. So that's a 3 out of 3 for the leaker, but the final slot is where I have questions and also some answers, because lastly we have Neuvillette. Yup, you're not the only one who's shocked, and honestly, I am kinda shocked too, but I found answers to all my questions. You see, it's been about 3 times that we've seen this pattern happen, where we have Neuvillette 2 patches before or after Furina. This happened in 5.4 where we have Furina, and then Neuvillette in 5.2. It also happened in 4.7, where we had Furina and then Nuvi in 4.5. It happened in a few other patches, but I do have to confess that in the first Furina banner, Neuvillette was released 3 patches afterwards, thus making the gap 3 patches. Still, all that information doesn't help us truly understand why Neuvillette is 1 patch after Furina. So here's the answer to the big question. Columbina is releasing in 6.3, and she will greatly overshadow any other characters releasing in that patch as a whole. According to previous data from awesome characters like Mavuika, it shows that pairing the region best with another best character can reduce the other character's pull rate by 50%. Now in the case of Neuvillette, they know he's loved by everyone, no one can say he's weak, or they'd literally be sentenced to death by the Oratrice. As such, it'd simply be dumb to pair their golden card with their diamond card, which is Columbina, in the same patch. They simply won't be able to maximize profit. So yeah, it might sound like a rough sketch, but that's seriously the best thought I have of it. Now with that covered, in case you've got goldfish memory, trust me, it's normal, then here are the 4 characters we just talked about. Durin in the first phase, while Neuvillette and Escoffi patches are currently unknown, and then we have Venti in the second phase. Honestly, just start praying that Neuvillette is in the second phase, because this is one heck of a patch ahead of us. Also, this is the patch where Jehoda will make her run, and it's most likely in the first phase. Now, Columbina is in 6.3, so let's take this moment to cover the latest news I just got about her. Columbina will be a polearm user just like Raiden and other hot ladies. Aside from that, we kinda have bad or good news. It really depends on what you plan on doing with her.
What do you mean by that?
Relax, what I mean is that she is leaked to be a Hydro reaction support and can't be a main DPS at C0, but C0 and upward provides a significant buff to her kit, which makes her an awesome standalone DPS. A perfect example of this is Furina. At C0, Furina is kinda ass. Sure, she's a great support, but if you want her skill to deal significant damage, then it's time to start looking at her constellations. Regardless, power creep is bound to happen in gacha games. It's technically written in their blood, so I have a feeling that Columbina might be a Furina replacement, or at least someone who can act as a second Furina. You can't have too many Furina, right? So finally, we have to come together and understand what this means for the future of the game. Things like the expectancies on the characters. Well, first off, you should always pull who you love. I only speak meta-wise whenever I'm selecting characters. With that said, you need to know 3 things. The most useful and versatile character of a region is the Archon, no argument needed there. Sure, you could say that Neuvillette is stronger than Furina, but then I need you to imagine Neuvillette without Furina. Exactly, he's just not as good. The same can be said for Mavuika and also Nahida, well before she got power crept by a deer. Anyways, With that said, we can expect Columbina to be the most useful character of this region. Therefore, it is best to save and get Columbina, and then get other characters like Lauma, Flins, or even Nefer on their rerun, because at that time, you'd know what Team Columbina is made for, and you can simply future-proof your account for a region ahead. Hype and mommies are temporary, but good characters are permanent and barely ever fade. Just how we had to compare Ayaka to Skirk literally 3 years after her release, and she is still on par with her. So with that covered, I have nothing else to cover. Yes, I know it's sad, but it's time to say goodbye. Make sure to like, comment, or even subscribe. We want many people to see this video so I won't go broke. Anyways, I love you all. Do take care of yourself, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.